Hello, I'm Sherry Ely, and I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to share the program evaluation process for the leveled literacy program that's here in the district. I want to first give you a little bit of history and overview of the program and how it's been utilized in the district. Uh, if you look, you'll see that in 2009, the state testing in reading shows that there was a growing gap for students in economically disadvantaged and students of color. Everyone else, the reading scores were on target with the state. And so the district decided to purchase reading intervention resources to support and help students who have a gap close that gap. The Fountain Pinnell Leveled Literacy Intervention Program was purchased for every classroom in grades K through 2. Those were the only systems that were available at the time. And so with that big purchase, the district also promised to provide additional resources to grades 3 through 5 as they became available through Heinemann. So with those purchases for K through 2 teachers, the district provided extensive training so that the teachers would know exactly the philosophy behind the system, how the system worked, and of course all of the components and foundations for the system so that they'd be able to fully implement that program in their classrooms. In 2010, as promised, they started adding one grade level per year until all of the grades K through 5 had systems in their classroom. In addition to every teacher, classroom teacher, getting the leveled literacy kits, every 2 teachers shared the benchmark assessments so that we had consistent testing and information about students across the district. Currently, the district is still purchasing for new schools and new added classrooms to current campuses. They still purchase the Fountain Pinnell systems for those classrooms. If campuses want additional resources or they need replacement parts for those systems, they can purchase those through their local funding. Now if we would begin to look at the program evaluation process, we can see that the inputs for utilizing such a program in this large district are staff, funding, time, and professional development. The staff is needed, of course, to provide that intervention support to students who are identified as having reading abilities below grade level. The time is needed for both intervention instruction during the instructional day and time for training new staff to make sure that the system is used with fidelity. Funding is needed to purchase new systems for additional new classrooms and for the training of new teachers. And finally, professional development is needed to train those new teachers who come into the district so that we continue the high quality of teaching across the district. Outputs for this program evaluation is twofold. First, of course, we want the reading intervention to show that students have grown over time as indicated by the benchmark assessments and reading records. But we also want to gain highly qualified staff who can provide effective intervention instruction. And that can happen if we follow it with fidelity. And that is one of the things that we're going to be looking for during this program evaluation. The outcomes are many. And as we can see on this graphic, the short-term outcomes are in purple, and it includes students gaining necessary reading skills, foundational reading skills, and also teachers gaining instructional insights into how the students are progressing throughout the school year through those formative assessments. The intermediate goals are to have students track their own progress and set and achieve goals so they become owners of their learning. Teachers will support the students through the data they're collecting to help kids make good choices and to set some realistic goals so that they can progress throughout the school year. And finally, in green, you're going to see the ultimate goal for the year, which is to meet or exceed the district goal of 2% growth as reflected in the district improvement plan. So what does all this mean for you? Well, as educators, everyone will benefit from evaluating this program that has been in the district for over a decade. Administrators will learn the effectiveness level of the leveled literacy program, what additional support is needed to fully implement it. Teachers will gain insights into student needs and growth and are provided an opportunity to share their thoughts about the program, about what's working and what they think is needed to improve the implementation of this program in the district. Students and parents benefit through the information that they gain about what the student knows, what they need in terms of support to improve, and to set goals to achieve their success. So all of that will take data, and there will be a great deal of data collected throughout the school year. Administrators will collect data through teacher checklists, surveys, classroom observations. Teachers will be doing weekly running records and grade level benchmarks. Also, they will fill out surveys. Now, something to consider here is that this is not additional data, with the exception of the surveys. These are things that are already being done within your school year. And so it's just a matter of collecting it and really looking at it through this lens of the evaluation process. So once we get all that data, how will this information be shared? Well, everyone is collecting and everyone is sharing the information that is gained from it. So first, during PLC times, administrators and teachers will look at the results from the running records and the benchmarks, and they'll analyze that data to make instructional decisions about what the students need, how they're growing and progressing, as well as next steps for instruction. So that's something that we're currently already doing, but now we're looking at that same data and ensuring that we are looking at it through the fidelity of the program itself. Then administrators are going to do those walkthroughs and classroom observations that they are already doing. And when they're there, they will use their checklist to ensure that this program at intervention time is being used with fidelity. The checklist will be agreed upon by teachers and administrators using the guidelines from the program guide itself. So there will be no surprises for anyone when those observations are occurring. All this data will be evaluated and collected. Administrators share the observation results with teachers and make some decisions about how to tighten up the fidelity. Teachers share the data from PLCs with students and parents and about what next steps will occur, set some goals with students, and then they will continue on with their instruction based on those plans. So all of that data is shared by everyone with everyone. So we have complete transparency all throughout the year about what is occurring and how to make some tweaks to make it improved. Then finally, the end of year data will come down and the district level and administrators will look at that data and everything else that has been collected with the evaluator and talk about all of those questions that we started with. Is this effective? If it's not, what needs improvement? Do we want to improve it, or do we need to move to something else? How can we make this a better product, or is it working? If it's working, that's awesome, and we'll continue with what we're doing. So all those questions will be answered at the district and administrator level, and those pieces will then be shared by campus administrators with the staff. So here is a timeline. You can see that it will last the entire year. Begins with training teachers and evaluators how to administer the assessments, follow the program, take field notes, understand the focus of the evaluation, the importance of objectivity, all of the important things before you start any kind of a study. Then throughout the year, teachers and administrators collect and analyze the student data, implement it with fidelity. And in addition, teachers and students complete surveys about the program perceptions, and then they are all compared with the end of year data that we have. So the request for funding is to pay for the evaluator's services of organizing, collecting, analyzing data throughout the school year. The evaluator will work with the district and campuses to organize training, provide information, collect and analyze the data, and share with all stakeholders. This can occur during PLC times on campuses, and these meetings will help to analyze that data and make instructional decisions, as well as meeting with district folks and administrators at the end of the year to make final decisions about the program. So that concludes my presentation. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.